Welcome back to another I Live Dunks episode. Hi, Bill.
Hi, everybody. On this episode 4, we're going to have a new format just to make everything more speedy and more easy to follow. So, our first section will be a quick recap of the last round of the Euroleague with some highlights we chose from the games. Then we're going to follow up with our fantasy suggestions that will be based on credit. So we're going to give you 6 players on different credit ladder per position to choose from. No guarantees, of course. And then we're going to follow up with coach suggestion for the round. And in the end, we're gonna talk about our teams, our results, the previous round, and also what will be our picks for the forthcoming.
We had quite a round, right? Bill, I hope you agree with me.
Yeah, that was wow. That was a crazy round. Although again, many of the games happened to be around the same time. That was a bit, annoying. But we had 3 games going to overtime, and except of the Olympiacos and Fenerbahce, easy, if we could say that, wins. Anything else could have easily been into the overtime, and everything is being decided within a basket. So actually quite competitive. From what I picked up, mostly it was the Monaco and FS game. The
Mhm.
reason be, I think but is the 2 teams I particularly like in the competition in our days.
Yes, that's true.
Um, so that was a joy also in the overtime. And then I think we had Valencia Villarban. That was I think these 2 teams, they seem to be not yet on the game, especially Valencia, because I think they have probably more potential.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I can single out the big game in Baskonia when they went to overtime, and Baskonia is now 2-0. So
That's
I don't think
true.
many people were expecting that we'll start with 2-0, right?
I think it's one of the nice surprises for the beginning of EuroLeague. Because, for example, as you said, Baskonia won versus Partizan, a very close game that went to overtime. And what a night for Marcus Howard. He shot 8 out of 12 3 points. So that was a great night for him.
He was
But
automatic.
he was he reminded of Shane Larkin. They're not the same. I'm just saying a name out there because we're used of Shane Larkin having these nights, but Marcus Howard is a new addition to this year's EuroLeague. But I cannot mention Ledey and Lazord. This duo for Partizan. They lost the game, but they had a spectacular night, a spectacular performance for both big guys for Partizan. As you said about earlier about Monaco and FS, Monaco had only 7 turnovers in such a crucial game. It is very important. That's how you build character. That's how a team builds character. That, of course, we're talking about a team that has expectations to go further into the postseason, and why not into the Final Four. And of course, Anadolu Efes, we all know they are the back-to-back champions, but in this game they had 16 turnovers. You know, but I think they always find a way. They start, meshing around and playing better when they are needed.
Well, Clyburn seems to be on top of his game again.
I
So consecutive 2 amazing games from Clyburn.
I agree. I agree. Uh, Also, we had the El Clasico, Barcelona versus Real Madrid. Um, Barcelona, what surprised me is because they played in their home court, they had 11 out of 16 free throws. That's 68.8%, which I don't know. Some may say good. For me, it's not that good personally because you're playing in your home court. So if you miss five free throws, the result may be affected by that. And the truth is, Real Madrid tried to steal that game, and they had only 11 turnovers, which again, the same as Monaco. That showed a well, coached team.
Well, I have to say, Real seemed a little bit disappointing
Mhm.
during the first 35, 37 minutes of the game. And then, Gabriel Deck just started and he was on his game, lifted up Real and almost was about to do the unthinkable and just win the game. I think I don't remember. I may be wrong, but I think it was around minus 12 points
I think so.
with less than 2 minutes. Um, and Real had the ability. They had the last shot. Um, there was some kind of speculation of what happened in the timeout with the coach and with the Musa and the shot that um, the Spanish team took. But yeah, Lul tried, but it wasn't in. So it was so close as that. It was just one shot to decide the El Clasico.
Mhm.
But in my opinion, both of these teams probably will play better later on.
Yes, as the regular season goes on, then they will pick up their games, both teams, so they can have better performances, of course. And the last game that I want to mention is Armani versus Alba Berlin in Milan, which Alba won that game. I saw that Armani had 31, I'm sorry, 3-point shots. That's like 29%, which is very, very low for such a game. So if you want to win a game, you have to think ways of, be more efficient, more effective. But by shooting 9 out of 13, 31, sorry, 3-point attempts, it's not, you know, clear mind, clear thinking to win a game. But on the other hand, we had Alba Berlin, which again, they won a close game in overtime by sticking to their gameplay.
Was that
That's
a close game? I have to defer on that.
Well,
Um,
close. It became a close game. That's why it went to overtime. That's what I meant.
it was
During the,
Pancos getting crazy at the point.
exactly, exactly. If it was without Pangos, I think Alba would have won that game easily. Easily, it's not
Yeah.
even a question, because they are sticking to their gameplay. That's very nice to see. I think Alba is one, as I said about Basconia. I think also Alba is one of the nice surprises early in this regular season.
Yeah, yeah. In my opinion, it seems even more convincing um, than I would thought they would be. So it's great result 2-0 at this point. And the next game is at their home.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly. So they can go up to 3-0 basically.
yeah, yeah. That I don't think many people, or pretty much anyone, would see um, Alba Berlin starting so strong.
I agree. I think no one could predict that this team, not because they don't have this, let's say they don't have this, they're not on the spotlight. Alba Berlin is a very low profile organization that they really work on developing players,
Yeah.
and they have their own core. This is very nice. They have their own core. This is, I think, the second year of Coach Gonzalez. So they're just sticking to their plan. They don't deviate from that, and that's we see they have built such a nice team. We
And
have to say congrats to the organization, to Alba.
yeah, and it was part of Renes's coaching stuff, right? So it's pretty much a continuation of the work that has been happening there on pretty much all ages. It seems a very, very nice program
Mhm. I
in
agree.
Europe.
I agree.
So what do you think? Should we then go on and start with our suggestions? I think uh,
Mhm.
people that would be more interesting in the fantasy aspect of this.
Yes, if you want, I can also switch so we can have also the list of the players
Yeah, yeah, that'll be good.
based on their position, of course.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, of course, now you see our team. This is our main team. Um, but we will not go into this right now. We'll just go into our um,
Maybe,
suggestions. Mhm.
yeah, what you could do is on the left hand side, on the third dot where they have these bars. I think that's statistics. We can see all the players. Um, so next to the home icon on the top left, if you go, I think the third
Mhm.
icon.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah,
Statistics.
statistics. Yeah,
Okay.
I
Yeah,
think
we can.
probably we have it. Yes, so that will be easy to find.
Yeah.
Um, shall we say starting from centers, because you've already given our top rank that is very weird choice to give to players from the same team. So
Yes, that's
floor
true.
is yours.
Oh, well, what can I say? As I said, the last game for me it was Lesort and Lede versus um, Basconia. Uh, as you see, um, they were just honestly they were spectacular. These two players. So I was thinking, if you have 10 or more credits to spend for a sender, it's either a Lede or Lesort. That's up to you. But if you see they have each of these player, I think one messes well with the other because Lede also can stretch out for the 3 point shot. So I think each player complements the other one. That's why they are a very good combination and they play really well together. So if you want to spend more than 10 credits, and in this case, if you do not want to spend 14.7, for example, for Tavares, you go all that up, you may spend 12.4 for Lesort or 12.3 for Lede.
Yeah, and I mean, we had to consider many big stars, as Tavares, you said, but Tavares, that's probably the best center in the league. He's
Mhm.
playing with another huge center, Fall.
Full.
So Mustafa Fall of Olympiacos. So he may get any ranking, we can't really
Mhm.
say. So that's our two rankings for expensive players, let's say top ranked players. If I
Mhm.
go to the mid market, so anything 10, 8 to 10, then I would go with Mickey. That he's costing 9.8 credits. He's playing against Zalgiris, and Mike, it didn't. I think it's flying under the radar now, because on the previous game he had almost 31 minutes participation. He only gave 8 fantasy points, but we need to take into consideration why this happened. The if if Mickey has made 2 more shots, he had 2 out of 8 shots, and if he hasn't done 4 turnovers but 2 turnovers, you would be looking at plus 16. So
Mhm.
double from what he got, and he was so close to get that. So with the time he will get, also I think with Zalgiris centers, or let's say front line, probably we think is going to be a good game for him. The second pick we had for this mid market was Rivero. 10.1, so just on our maximum there versus FS. But we just had the news that Rivero is been injured and he's not gonna be playing. Possibly, I mean, pretty sure for this week, and unfortunately, maybe for more. We see that's unclear yet.
Yes, sorry for interrupting, Bill. On Valencia's website, they said he will miss the next games, so we cannot say exactly how many. But it's an unfortunate event. He has, I think, a calf injury. We hope for the best and speedy recovery for Rivera. of course.
Yeah, this is also one of our issue because we had have him already in one of our teams.
Mhm,
But anyway, so because of this, we're getting into our third choice on this mid mark, that is Costello from
mhm,
Basconia with 9.2 credits. Still, Enoch is not ready, so we think he's gonna take probably the minutes and he's gonna be. Um, giving us back some quality points.
mhm, mhm.
So do you want to go on to the deep value choices?
Yes, that's the deep value choices. So that's 8 credits and below
Mhm.
uh, that we can go. And voila, you see the two names that we suggest is Hassan Martin from Srana Zvezda. He is playing, he's very efficient. That's one. Also last year he was very efficient with Olympiacos and gave fantasy points. So if you want, for example, to spend a certain amount of credits for the center position and focus on forward and guards, then Hassan Martin, I think, is a very nice choice. Zvezda is playing against Basconia, but I think Hassan Martin can make some damage and can give credits. Also, with 6.9 credits, if you want to go ever less for the center position, we have Kumaje from Alba Berlin. He was really, really effective versus Armani. And keep in mind, Armani has Brandon Davis, so he has an experienced big guy in the paint. But Kumaji is playing so well with the certain group and unit that is really they. I mean, the whole team is putting him in a position to be effective. So this is very, very nice. So I think he's also effective fantasy wise and can give you points because he also takes grabs rebounds and he's scoring as well. So for 6.9, I think Kumaji is a very nice addition to your team.
And I think is now been selected by many teams. So I think there was some news from the EuroLeague Fantasy official account that lately Kumanji has been selected by multiple users. So
Oh,
it seems to be a popular deep value selection. So
yes.
if I go to then the forwards, and this time we will start maybe from deep value going up.
Oh, mhm.
Um, so um, we get another player from Alba Berlin, and that's Olinde with 7.8 credits. He's playing in Berlin. He's getting many minutes, so he seems very good. To be honest, with 7.8, it's very difficult to find such a good selection available. So is a lock for us, that one. And then the second deep value um, is a Deckerskis from Basconia that
Mhm.
again is playing at home as well. Again, is 7.4 credits.
So then we move to the mid-table
Hmm.
selections. Um, and for our mid-table selections, we have one player that started really well this season. Again, this player is playing in Crvena Zvezda, and that's Ben Bentil. He's playing his. We can, of course, Bentil is considered a EuroLeague veteran already. He played with Panathinaikos and Armani last year in EuroLeague, and he's giving that scoring option from the forward position that the team needs. So he's very, very efficient for his team, and I think with 8.9 credits, he would be a nice addition to your team. If you want to spend a bit further and more credits, that's we go to 9.7 now. We go to Ignas Brasdeikis from Zalgiris. I think Brazdakis didn't start very well on the first game in EuroLeague, on his debut in EuroLeague, but versus Olympiacos, he gave that scoring option and also contributed to the team in with rebounding as well. So I think Brazdakis is coming up, during the game after game. And I think with 9.7 credits, because keep in mind, there are several options for forwards, but some players cannot be, touched at the moment if you want to have a well-built all-around team. So with 9.7 credits, I think Brazdakis will be a very nice addition to your team.
Mhm. Before you were talking about the Le Day Le Sort duo, but I have to say that we forgot the captain, and is actually not duo, but is three players. That makes a difference. Of course, there are all the players making, and we have
Mhm.
Nanali, you have all the other players, but Panther is really what gets this team going. And although they haven't got a win yet, they have another difficult game with Milano, both teams coming from a defeat. But we know everything will go through Panthers' hands. Is also the probably the favorite team, or the favorite player of the coach. So with 12.6 credits and the way he's been playing the first two games, I think he's cheap, although he's on the top rank, more than 10 credits. The second pick uh, is it was difficult for us. We have a couple of candidates, but we end up choosing Clyburn. Um, I'm not sure if he's expensive or not. It's tough to say, but with the way he's playing and the matchup he's having, he ought to have another good game. So 14.6 credit Clyburn for the other top rank selection. And then I guess Kostadinos, we can move to the guard position.
Yes, and also I just want to mention that Kevin Pander and Lede are playing against their former team, so they may find extra motivation now to perform even better.
Very good.
Just like a hint. So if we go to the guard position, I'll start with the top rank players.
Mhm.
We have, of course, Mike James. Mike James is, you know, the beginning and the end of Monaco. Let's say he is the maestro for this team. He is the scoring option that he can go up for 20 or more points at any night. He can give you fantasy wise. He can give you a lot of points, especially if you also select him as a captain. But it comes with 15.6 credits now because of his performances.
He is cheap.
Well,
Uh,
well, compared to other players and what he can give you to the team, I think then yes, you it's under 16 credits, so why not? Let's have Mike James. Um, and the other pick that we had, it's uh, one player, EuroLeague veteran, but he is pure quality, and that's Nando De Colo. De Colo is the main player for Villeurbanne. He is taking his team to another level. At the moment, his price is 13.1 credits. And I say at the moment because he has started so well the season in EuroLeague. And I think he is one of the options from the expensive guards that we all have to think about more than once to bring to our team.
mhm. So going into the mid-market selections, the ones less than between 8 and 10, this time we're gonna be even lower than 9. So first choice is Whaler Bap Nick with 8.6 credits. He's having a tough game versus Barcelona, but he's the main contributor of his team. He's the coach in on the actual floor. So he had a very good game last game, and probably with his credit is the most quality selection we can have. The second selection here, suggestion from us, goes to Evans Kinnan. Um, so Zalgiris playing against Virtus, so not an easy game either. He's a little bit more expensive than Wheeler Bob, 8.9, but again, he's expected um, to really be one of the most important players in the team. As we said earlier, with another mid-market, Brazdekis, probably Evans and Brazdekis will be the players to give the boost to Zalgiris, to go against Virtus
Mhm,
tomorrow.
mhm. And then we have the deep value. So if we go up to 6 credits, we have two players that really they have started really well. I think both these players they have found their role within their own teams, and they can perform even they don't get that many minutes. They still, when they're on the court, they are very productive and they are helping their teams. First is Yanulis Larenzakis from Olympiacos. He's performing. Also, he did the same in the last Eurobasket. It's like he knows his role. He knows that okay, he steps on the floor, he gives 100% what he can, and that's how he is helping his team. But he has the right mentality and the right thinking about this. So Laranzakis, he had 2 games, the first 2 games, which he was very, very efficient and productive, fantasy wise, and also on the court for his team, for Olympiacos. And another player, and of course, Larenzakis is only 5.9 credits. See, he's very, very, his price is very, very cheap. That's why I forgot even his price. And of course, we have Puerto from Valencia with 5.7 credits. Uh, he is one of the players that, despite the fact that he cannot give that much scoring compared to Larenzakis, he grabs rebounds, so he's helping on that area. He's helping his team. The key point for both players, if you see, are Larenzakis has 1 turnover, Puerto has 2 turnovers. So that shows that they are going into the court, they step on into the court with the right thinking, and they are not forcing shots or making easy mistakes.
Actually, they're taking more playing time than I thought they will take at the start of the season. And we were lucky to make the correct choice with Puerto in our team from day one.
Mhm.
And he's been paying as well. But Larenzakis, he's even getting higher fantasy returns. So yeah, very good value choices. Just wanted to point out that they both have very difficult games. So the matchups is Puerto versus FS and Larenzakis versus Real Madrid.
Mhm. I don't know if you saw, Bill was all kind of smiling when he was talking about Puerto, is because Puerto was his choice for the team. So I give him that. I have to give him that because Puerto was his choice when we built our team.
Cool, cool. So I guess now we can move on to the code section. Um, so on the top there is a tab
Yeah.
called codes. Is there? Yes.
Let me just put all the credits. If you want, I can go less. If you want, I leave it as it is, and I can go on page number 2.
I think let's start from page one. So from page one, we have again two locks, in my opinion, as suggestions, but that is from the expensive side of things. So we have Ataman with I think it's 10 credits, and then we have Etudis with 9 credits. I believe both other teams, uh, easy or difficult, somehow, some way, they will get the job done. So these two are, the safe options probably,
Mhm,
but they cost quite more. Then we have Scariolo,
mhm.
um, and we have, but it's playing though away, as we said earlier, in Kaunas.
Yes.
Um, so although he's probably having the upper hand,
Mhm,
I think 7 credits come with some kind of risk.
mhm,
And the other choices we have is Penaroya from Basconia, that's playing at home versus Zvertna. And then we have Gonzalez with 6.2,
mhm.
that playing at their home again in Berlin versus Panathinaikos. So looking at this, it would really depend on what each of us wants to build in its team. So, depending if you go, for expensive players, maybe you can select a more cheap coach, or if you're going for deep value players, maybe you can have the safe choice of Ataman, that they also need to bounce back from a defeat. So, I would expect them probably to do very well. In our case, Konstantinos, in our team.
In our
Uh,
team, should we move to our team so we can start? Because we will pick one of
yes,
those coaches for sure.
yes. Let's do that.
This is the obvious choice.
Yeah, and just to while you're doing that, while you're switching into our teams, I just wanted to say the rest of the coaches we didn't mention. The reason is because we think their games are trivial, so it could go either way, and there is no safe option. On our last game, as you can see on your screen now, we changed and we've put Barjokas as our coach, and on both of our teams, in the Alub Dunks and the Value BC, and that proved to be the right choice. However, if they have just scored one more point, if Olympiacos has one more point, Barjokas will have returned 20 and not 10 points. But in any case, in the first fixture, in the first round, we had minus from coach, so for us is a win.
For us is a win, and also based on the results that you see now on your screen, I have to say, what a game for Yusufa Fall.
Hmm.
He was very, very productive and efficient, and of course, Thompson from Basconia. Thompson, his team, he went to overtime, but still he played really. He was very, very efficient for Basconia and his team.
Yes, again, Panther, the usual, a very good game. We had a small disappointment with Tavares. We were expecting more in the El Clasico.
Mhm.
Small disappointment with Lee at the guard position, but he was playing with injury, a very light injury, as we realized. And then, of course, we had the right captain. Vezenkov was just unstoppable, and give us how much is that?
81.40.
81.4. So all in all, we scored 100. Thank you for
Yeah,
us all old people. So all in all, we scored 177.8 points. So we bounced back from a mediocre first round to a good result, I would say, in the round two.
true.
So let's
And
go to
and I want
build
to
the team.
point, yeah, and I want to
Mhm.
point out before we start, that's why I said about Mike James, you may spend 15.6 credits, but if you choose him and he has his night and you put him as a captain, it can give you, like you see now, Vazankov gave us 81.40 points, which is amazing. So let's move on to round three of Euroleague regular season. So should we start with the coach,
Yeah,
Bill?
yeah, let's go.
Okay.
So, so we said Yeah, I think before we get the codes, let's see which player we want to get rid of this time. And as I said earlier, we were disappointing a little bit with Lee.
Hmm.
Um, we were disappointed a little bit with Tavares. Now he has a difficult game with Olympiacos. He may bounce back very hard, so he may score 30 plus, or he may have another difficult game in terms of fantasy. So we're gonna take him out as well, and then we're gonna take out um, the Alba Berlin prospect, Procida. Um, so when we do all of these changes, then we can, I think, decide on which players we want to get in our team and getting back into our selections before our suggestions, let's say earlier. Uh, we already have in our team Vezenkov, we already have Panther, we have Thompson that we feel they're very quality choices, and almost, let's say, they're going towards the upper class of the game. So if we are giving away Tavares, that he's one of that upper class, we want to go in a top ranked player. So we're gonna give out Tavares, but then we're gonna get in Mike James, right? So that would be the first thing to do. So as we say, we took out Lee, Tavares, Procida, and
Hmm.
Barzokas. So now if we add James,
Hmm. Then we have also a center and a guard and a coach,
mm,
of course.
yeah. So for in that case, we have Yusapa Fall, that is a great selection for us, but he's having also a tough game. Is Fenerbahce, if I'm correct, right?
Yes.
Um, yeah, against a team that is strong in the paint. So we will need another, value. Let's say maybe mid-market center. So we gave you before the solutions of Mickey, Rivero is injured, and Costello. So we're gonna go with Mickey.
I
Mainly because of the minutes he's getting and the role he has in the team.
the role, and I will add, as you said, also he's playing versus Zalgiris, and on the last round, Mustafa Fall had an amazing game, a great game versus Zalgiris. So I think Zalgiris, they have a good group, but their front line it's not that scary, let's say. So Mikey can have a very very effective, a good game for Virtus.
Hmm. Exactly. And then I think in order for us to decide the last card player, we have
Hmm.
13.8, so we don't have many credits. So we gave you suggestions of five coaches. We're gonna go with the cheapest option. So we see what's the best we can get in guard, and we can
Hmm.
go with Gonzalez. So Gonzalez with 6.2, um, although it's not a given, it seems like a steal because he's really deep value 6.2 when they are playing with this kind of rolling really early in the season. And also, I think they probably have a good matchup for them. So then we left with 7.6 credits. And in that case,
For
we need,
me, yeah,
yeah,
for me, we need someone who can, you need the guard that can impact the game in many ways. For example, if it's not their day or his day for scoring, then we have to see, does he grabbing rebounds? Is he in assist? Is he giving assist? So
yeah.
is he getting fouls? So based on that, we thought about one player that started very, very nice. this regular season, and this is Tamir Blatt from Alba Berlin. He is really the master from this team.
Mhm.
He is playing really well, and with seven, as you said about Gonzalez with 6.8, Blatt with 7.3 credits, and with the game coming up versus Panathinaikos, in which we have not any official word yet, but Walters may be missing from another game for Panathinaikos. So I think Tamir Blad has an opportunity now to be very
Yeah.
productive again.
Yeah, exactly. And just wanted to mention the reason we didn't give that option in the deep value is because Puerto and Larizakis are really, really, cheap. So we thought is like the real definition of deep value when you get something with less than 6 credits with so much playing time. But then after that, it was pretty much blood. So we're gonna get with blood. So just to recap, in our Alib Dunks team, we changed our codes. We thank him for the 10 points he gave us. So Barzoka's out, Gonzalez in. We're taking out Lee and Tavares, and we're taking in James and Mickey. So we keep a star, and actually we're getting a superstar that, as you both understand, we love. And finally, we get we made inside trade in Alba uh, between Proceed and Blood.
Yes,
Um,
I think these options, based on the fact that we wanted Mike James in our team, uh, so that's that's why it's very very important how you want to allocate your credits that you have. For example, for us, in order to bring Mike James, we have to send out Tavares, which is again a big choice. But again, both players are great. But in this game, for this round, we say, okay, we're not going for Mike James.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's these trade-offs we always have to think about when building our team. And as you said, Tavares is really important for us, and we may see him back in the team.
Yes,
So
in
we
the
see
future.
now. Yeah,
That's
now
true.
for captain we didn't talk about.
Oh, that's true.
Um,
Yeah.
so I think is would be between Panther and James. Uh, Probably we're gonna go um, with James.
I'm thinking about it. It's a close one, but based on the fact that James is playing, of course, is playing away versus Maccabi, but Monaco is really really exciting team so far. So in this case, what I believe is, I agree with Bill. We can choose Mike James for this round. Of course, as you see our team, we have the option for the second round of round three that Vezenkov is playing. We can put Vezenkov as a captain if Mike James doesn't perform that well. But in this case, I think is a close call between James and Pander because both are very nice scoring options. And we have seen both players being very, very effective and efficient at the beginning of EuroLeague. So in this case, I will agree with Bill about Mike James as a captain, mainly also because Maccabi does not have the defensive stopper, let's say, in the guard position. So I agree, Bill. Let's go with Mike James.
And as you see, change of environment for me, last minute
Yeah,
change.
no
Apologies
worries,
for that.
no worries.
Yeah. So
Let me save the
um,
change. Also, why we put James now, it came to my mind. Why we chose Mike James as a captain as well is because
mhm.
Kevin Panther will play versus Armani, and that means versus Shields. Both great players, so you will see maybe they match up together. So that means they will try to take as many fouls, from each other and tire the other player.
And I think you've already pointed out that Vezenkov is there, so if
Yes,
things doesn't go our way, we do have a Zenkov on
true.
the second round that is a safe option for captain.
Mhm. Yes, that's true. So this is for our Alub Dunks team. Let's move on to deep value team. In round two, let's see. I think we did exceptionally bad by losing
Really bad.
zero point 0.9 credits. But on top of that, it was just 76.88 points.
No,
That,
but can I just say
yeah,
something
yeah, of
that
course. Yeah.
I find a little bit weird and unfair the way it happened. So Euroleague fantasy changed the rules of how they appreciate and depreciate the players' value. There wasn't any communication, at least that we know.
Mhm,
So players that, according to the previous system, supposed to increase in value, they did not because they had a bad game. So until we know exactly how this is handled, we are going to try to get this team back on its feet, and we are not going to try with the way we thought the system was working the previous years, and would work this year. Apologies. But we will try to just get some picks that will give us probably good score. And again, we keep the rule we had from the start. We don't want any player to overlap with our main
mhm.
team.
Yes. So, but that does not apply to the coach,
Mhm.
only to the players. So I'm just saying. So let's go for round three. So in this case, and based on the latest information and news we had, we have to make a change that we will not make in any other situation. So Rivero has to leave from our team because he's injured, so he will not give any points otherwise. So Rivero is out.
Mhm.
Coach Barjokas, he has a very, very crucial game, so I think we do not want to risk it. So coach is out as well. And then we have, I think, Colson, because he did not continue up to his good game. So Colson is another player that we are thinking to leave out. And last but not least, Kotsar, the sender from Basconia. Of course, you will say, and that's true, Anahu is still out. Why you're taking Kotsar out? So we thought about it, and it's Kotsar had a great game, an amazing, an MVP. He was the MVP of round one of regular season, but then he didn't keep it up on the same level versus Partizan. On the other hand, we have a player from the same team, Basconia, that he is performing not only in Euroleague but also in the Spanish league in ACB. And I think it's one of the options we have from the mid table that we want to go. And this player is Matthew Costello, because he is very, very efficient and very, very effective so far in both EuroLeague and ACB. So for this reason, we will select Costello. I found him, I'm sorry, with 9.2 credits.
Mhm.
So as you see already, we brought Costello. We Costello, sorry. We had to leave out Rivero, but at the same time, we're getting some credits to spend it in any other position or coach we want.
Yeah, and I guess as we said at the start, for this team, we need to get some players that will give us score. So we're gonna go with the cheapest option from our coach suggestion. Again, we're gonna go with the same Gonzalez
Mhm,
Israel as the coach.
mhm.
And then we left with 20.6. That is not bad at all for the other two positions.
Yes, we have a center to choose and a forward to choose. So then I would go for the other center. And in this case, we are thinking that we have Costello, but we lost Rivero, so we need to spend to bring a center who is very, very efficient, and he's very getting the time, and also is very crucial for his team. And we are gonna pick Zach Leday in this case. We thought about Lesort as well, but we think Leday impacts the game in many different ways. For example, he can stretch out for the 3-point shot, and this is very, and he can go also play forward, power forward. I mean, for Partizan, Lesort is only a center, so Leday can play in both roles, center and power forward. And let's not forget he's playing against his former team Armani, so he has extra motivation to perform in this round.
And as you said, we want another good center, also because of the way the EuroLeague fantasy team is structured. So we need to have in our main team at least one center.
Mhm.
So if one of them doesn't really play very well, we can switch to the other one. So we can't really have a solution that won't really give us anything.
Mhm.
So we played a little bit safe, let's say that selection. And then forward, I think if we select and sort by credits, we're gonna have probably
Yeah.
a couple of selections. And here we have very good selections. We have Hezoni available. We have John Brown available, but both of these two players, I think, they could potentially give in more credit, more fantasy points than they actually giving. So maybe we need to give them a little bit more time to see what's exactly their role on their team. Then we have Diallo Alpha is coming from an amazing game. I think 27.5, if I remember correct,
Yep.
fantasy points. He's pretty much the player that connects all team because we have many stars around, and he's a coach player. He also I think played around 28-30 minutes, so that's another good choice. And then we have Lucic, a good game from him last game. We hope he can keep it up. He has a difficult game, so we just need to see a little bit more from Lucic. But if he's back on his game, we know he's a top selection. And actually, the 11.6 for Lucic, if he gets back to his usual form, is quite good.
Mhm.
So probably we will need to um, take another Basconia player and take a small leap of faith on Gietraitis because of the matchup and because playing at home and because they also have the ability to go 3-0.
And also, if you see, Giedridis has 20 plus fantasy wise points, performances. So he is giving scoring, but also, if you see, he's getting rebounds. So in this case, I think, and also with the home court game, I think Giedraitis is the option to go for the forward position. But keep in mind, Alpha Diallo is also a nice option if you want to spend less credits.
Yeah, exactly. Um, cool. So
So
maybe you
let
want to recap our positions, what we
yes.
changed.
So what we changed, it was we had to take off Rivero because he's injured, as we said, and we brought Costello in his place. So in for this transaction, we had some more credits to spend. In addition, we sent out Coach Berzokas because he's having a derby game versus Real Madrid. So it's a very can be a close game. Is an unpredictable game. So we in this case we wanted to go with the cheapest choice credit wise. Gonzalez from Alba Berlin, also because Alba is performing very nice at the moment. So by doing these two substitutions, let's say these two trades, we had the ability to bring Zach Leday in Qatar's place. He is our top choice for from the center position. And for forward, we Didn't want to keep any more Colson. Maybe in the future, he's another choice for us. And we brought Rokas Giedraitis in his place because he has a home court game, and also I think he's in a good form right now to be part of that team.
Cool. So let's hope we can rebound here and follow the success of our Loop Dagn's team on that one.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Uh,
That's true.
and in any case, guys, so thank you for watching. Whoever made it till the end of this video. Um, if you like what you see, just give us a like and subscribe. And if you want, you can follow us also on Twitter when we give regular updates on any status of the fantasy players.
Mhm. And last tip, don't forget, just put the players that are there playing on the first round. That you will see T1 of round three. And then
Uh,
you can leave all the players from T2, that's round two of round three, in order to get um, points.
we didn't say though who is our captain. So
Oh,
Lede probably, isn't
I
it?
think I think Lede for the first day for
Lede.
round one of round three. I think Lede is our captain.
Yeah,
And then we also have the option of Giedraitis for round two or Costello, depending who we choose. We
yeah,
can also have this as a
yeah,
captains.
yeah. Okay, guys. So hope you enjoyed that, and hope you also get some nice choices for your teams, and hopefully our suggestions on the different credit market there can help you a little bit. And I guess see you on the next episode.
Yes, see you on the next episode. Stay tuned for in our Twitter for any latest updates for injuries, trade transfers, and any news. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.
Bye now.
Bye bye. Peace.